Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a different point of view. So, there were a lot of units that went down with the latest MFM. And now, I've been a very big advocate of Dread Mob. Like, if you actually get a little bit serious, and look at some of those points, and look at Dread Mob, I think you have something there. However, that's not what today is about. It is about a green tide list that isn't in green tide. What if after all of these, the boys 5 points off per 10, right? Now they're 8 points a model instead of 8.5. But the Beast Snagger boys are 95. So the green tile list that was already working, the other battle line that comes with a feel no pain is just 10 more points per 10 of what the old points were. Follow me here. Follow me, lads. Now, I understand. You'll be looking at this, you'd be like, well, my green tide list just got better. Like, come on, lad. Why wouldn't I just go back to green tide again? And you can. However, I want to ask you how different it really is to have boys that have a 6-up invuln and a 5-up invuln if there's 10 or more models, or having a bunch of boys that have a 6-up feel no pain or a 5-up feel no pain in certain cases, but also can do damage and play a bit more missions. Okay, so secret missions did get hit, so I'm not saying that you build around that in mind, but I think we've all seen with Pariah Nexus, we still build with that in mind. Because if things are going rough, you still have to try to make it a little bit better. So let's first review Green Tide. We've already gone over the detachment rule. Competitive streak. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, re-roll wound rolls of 1. If your unit contains more than 10 or more models, re-roll the wound roll instead. Okay, now let's compare that to what we have over here with Drag It Down. Until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by models in your unit have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. In addition, each time a model in your unit makes a melee attack that targets your prey, a critical hit is scored on a 5-up instead of a 6. So exploding 5s if you are targeting your prey. If not, that's just fine. You still get Sustained Hits 1 for 1 Beast Snagger unit in the fight phase. What is your prey? Okay? Don't get me wrong, this detachment rule still needs work. Okay? But at the start of your command phase, select one monster vehicle or warlord unit from your opponent's army. Funny, I just did a basic phalanx, and you're still just targeting units. I guess that was a thing, huh? If your opponent does not have any of these on the battlefield or are embarked within a transport that is on the battlefield, you can select one character unit from your opponent's army instead. Until the start of your next command phase, that enemy unit is your prey. Each time a Beast Snagger unit from your army declares a charge that includes your prey as one of its targets, you can re-roll the charge. And each time a Beast Snagger model from your army makes an attack that targets your prey, improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. So, now, again, this is just targeting one unit, monster, vehicle, or warlord, and if not the warlord, a character unit. I understand that, so we're not going to focus too heavily on this. The same way, I'm not going to focus on the durability of this too much. Now, if there are attacks that would just take you to that 5 up invuln, it is a little bit better. And you do have the option in Green Tide to get some Feel No Pain on top of the 5 up invuln. I understand that. But we have other ways of keeping ourselves around a little bit sturdier. So, competitive streak versus drag it down, ah, that's your call. A sustained hits 1, possibly exploding 5s, better or worse than reroll 1s. I'll let you be the judge. Next, you have Come On Ledge. One boys unit from your army return up to D3 plus 2 destroyed models to your unit, excluding character models. So, in your command phase, you can regen a unit up to 5 models, potentially, at a max of 5. There's nothing like that here, but we will talk about what things can be regened a little bit later. Bulldozer Brutality and Green Tide. One boys unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase and is within engagement roll range of one or more units. You can expand it so that up to 3 inches out, everybody is eligible to fight. Perfectly fine for getting stuck in. Instead, you have something over here in which you can select one enemy that is within engagement range. However, that is after the Beast Naga mounted unit. So you're not going to be using this one for being stuck in. However, you do have the opposite at hand. For when Orks is never beaten and secret mission is probably taken. Instinctive Hunters makes it so that one Beast Naga unit from your army that is not within engagement range of one or more enemy units at the end of your opponent's fight phase. Remove your unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserves. Hmm. Hmm. Remove from the battlefield. Place it into strategic reserves. That sounds a lot like Uppy Downy. That is pretty good for secret missions, especially when it requires your warlord or battle line units to be on your opponent's home objective. Or maybe, just maybe, you need to flip an objective by getting more battle line on there, or hey, just any units on there for Unbroken Wall. And we don't even talk about the last one because if you're doing that, you're probably winning anyway. But Instinctive Hunters opens up a lot of different paths here. But going back over to what you have in Green Tide, you have Tide of Muscle. One boys unit from your army that has not declared a charge this phase until the end of the phase. Each time your unit declares a charge, add 1 to the charge roll, and if your unit contains 10 or more models, you can re-roll the charge roll. Now, admittedly, you don't have access to +1 to charge. There is a way for you to re-roll your charge roll, and that same caveat lets you advance in charge, with that one's even bigger. To the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to charge in a turn in which it is advanced or fell back, provided one of the targets of the charge is your prey. So, if you just point out one of the monsters, vehicles, warlord, or character units, now mind you, they should just drop this and just make it character unit, you're fine. You are fine to advance in charge for 1 CP, assuming also that's not the WA. So, you can also reroll and get that bonus AP. So, I'd say that's again, fair trade in my humble opinion. Bragging rights. 2 boys units from your army that are within 6 inches of each other, you just get to apply the rest of your rules for this detachment. Hey, you need something to keep the rules going, and then finally go get them. After the attacking unit has shot your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its target. One boys unit from your army that was selected as target of one or more attacking units. After the attacking unit has shot, your unit can make a go get 'em move. You can surge. Roll a d6. Each model in your unit can move a distant in inches up to the result, but your unit must end as close as possible. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. If your unit contains 10 or more models, you can re-roll the d6 to determine how far you can move. So, for 1 CP, you get a Blood Surge. That's okay. And let's round out with what we have over here. We have, first off, after your enemy leaves away from you, or tries to, and your fallback move, you can make a normal move of up to 6 inches. Okay, cool. Because where'd you think you're going? You also have unstoppable momentum, but again, this is for just the mounted. But we should highlight it that since we're talking about getting stuck in, select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit and roll 1d6 for each model in your unit. For each 4 up, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. And if it is your prey, roll 3 additional d6. Pretty nice. And stalking tactics is the other thing to keep your beast nega boys, or anybody, alive. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Until the end of phase, each time a ranged attack targets your unit, models in that unit have benefit of cover against that attack. In addition, if your unit has infantry, which beast nega boys are, you also have stealth. So -1 to hit, benefit of cover. Mind you, it's only in the shooting phase, and the invuln applies to both melee and ranged, but that's okay. I'm not going to go through the enhancements, don't really need to for the purposes of what I'm trying to express here. But you have these around. So if you attach a beast boss to beast nega boys, they become +1 to hit, the same way you would attach a war boss to the regular boys. Each time this model makes a charge move until the end of the turn, melee weapons it has equipped has devastating wounds. So, your beast boss, death wounds, +1 to hit roll for the beast nega boys, and the beast boss, pretty darn good. Let's talk about the beast nega boys. They come with a base, feel no pain, 6 up. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle unit, you can re-roll the hit roll. So, monster or vehicles, re-roll the hits, +1 to hit. It's pretty decent. It's not the worst. Now, we compare that to just the boys real quick. Sticky objectives. Same good old stat line, right? But, you know, outside of the detachment, they don't have something built in. If you just bring 120 Beast Snagger boys with a feel no pain of a 6 up base, that's pretty darn annoying if you ask me. How are people going to make sure that they call that? Because the boys, the only way that they're getting it, feel no pain, is if you attach a pain boy. And you can only attach 3 pain boys because, well, they're not battle line. So 3 of your units can have a feel no pain of a 5 up. That's okay. But with Beast Mega Boys, you can have all of them with a feel no pain of a 6 up, or 3 with a feel no pain 6 up, and 3 with a feel no pain 5 up thanks to the pain boss. Yeah, I think it's pretty fun. And then going back to just healing things, um, as an example, now mind you, this targets a character model, a Beast Mega character model, so it's not like you're healing the unit, but the other things that you're bringing with the Beast Nagas, yeah, if they get healed up because of my already annoyingly tanky unit, yeah, it's pretty fun. But then also, you have the Grot Orderly. Once per battle in your command phase, if the bearer is leading a unit that is below its starting strength, you can return up to D3 destroyed bodyguard models to that unit. Now, Pain Boys can do that for, of course, the regular boys, but you're getting feel no pain both ways and healing more than just the unit you're attached to. So that's that comparison right there. Look at me. I had the pain boss already open. Then we go over to the vehicles that you can have carry your respective friends. Let's go with that. Let's go with transport. There's options to the truck. There's options to the battle wagon. We're not really bringing Gorkanaut or Morkanaut or Stompa for this. But, you know, hey, Kill Rig is a now 155 point T10, 3 up save, 16 wound, feel no pain, 6 up vehicle. With these weapons, and at the start of your fight phase, you can select one friendly orc unit within a foot of this model and roll 1d6. On a 1, you hurt yourself. Everything else, you give one strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit that you targeted, and on a 6, they get lethal hits. Yeah, uh, lethal hits. Sustained hits 1? Possibly on 5s if it's prey, but, you know, on a vehicle that is 155 points, again, T10, 3 up save, 16 wounds, and has its own pretty decent array of attacks. But let's compare that directly to a battle wagon, in which Ramshackle, each time an attack is allocated to this model, worsen the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. That's good. And it has an invuln of 6 ups. So you're not just ever taking it just straight out the gate. You also can use an art case to make this T10, T12. That's perfectly fine. But, well, nothing is stopping you from bringing the battle wagon as well, because it just has a carrying capacity of 22 Orks infantry models. It does not stop you from bringing Beast Naga models, Beast Naga infantry, the same way it does for Mega Armor or Jump Pack. So, why not throw in Battle Wagon in this too if you really miss it that much? I think that's perfectly fine. Then we go to the truck that again, you can still bring Beast Naga in it if you're going to be like, well, but my truck. Yeah, you're not going to be making use of the firing deck with the Beast Naga boys too terribly tough. But this is orc shooting, so were we really planning on it anyway? Right? Like, just compared to the weapons. It is a lot worse. Not gonna lie to you. But, start a command phase, this model regains 1 wound. Yeah, I'd say if the whole purpose is to stick around a little bit longer, yeah, we could be annoying with it. Let's talk about the other rig, though, the Hunter rig. Ah, ah. You're probably bringing the Battle Wagon before the Hunter rig, if I'm being honest. But for each model embarked within this transport, that is now down to 135 points. Okay? Add 1 to the attack characteristic of this model's Butcher Boy's weapon. The attack characteristic of the weapon can be modified even though it is an extra attack weapon. So, for up to a maximum of +6, this goes to 10, this goes to 4, that's 14 plus another 6. You are making 16 attacks, various profiles, but extra attacks, lance, and anti-monster, anti-vehicle. 4 ups. Oh, and I guess I should mention that both of the rigs have, just to prove that both of them do have it, each time this weapon scores a hit against a monster or vehicle for their snagged, their sticker cannon, until the end of the turn, if the bearer selects that target as if the bearer selects that unit as a target of a charge, add 2 to charge rolls made for the bearer, and enemy units cannot use the fire overwatch stratagem to shoot at the bearer. You just get stuck in with your vehicle. Your kill rig or your hunter rig that now has a bajillion attacks into it and lance, yeah, this also still has lance. It's a real danger now. We go over to some of the things that you can bring around the unit because just the same way that people were bringing, oh, I don't know, Warboss and Mega Armor to then bring a bunch of the Mega Knobs that also just got points cut. You can bring Mazrog, Scragbat, or Beast Boss with some Squighog boys to, round some things out. We don't have to go too deeply because this doesn't progress the green tide aspect of maybe a the big hunt detachment focus list, but just for it, Mazrog, uh, bodyguard units get fight on death 4 up, and you can do extra damage to monsters and vehicles. Beast Boss and Squigosaur add 1 to charge rolls. Where have I heard that before? Um, and free heroic intervention. Okay, just some things that you could splash in. Just a little bit of splashing that is possible. Um, there you go. And just the Squighog boys, chunk. Feel no pain, 5 up, T7. Save a 4, 3 wounds, 4 wounds for the knob on Smash the Squig. Can ignore any or all modifiers to this unit's move characteristics and to advance and or charge rolls made for it. Bomb Squigs, once per battle. For each bomb squig this unit has, after this unit ends a normal move, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of it and roll 1d6. On a 2 up, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. They have grenades. The leaders, no grenades. But, hey, if you're going to be upset about the capacity to grenade because you have it with boys, you have it now with your Squighawk boys that you are bringing in the Big Hunt. I should also, I guess, mention uh, Proper Kelly can go on, the leader of the Beast Nega Boys, and Scrag every stats also can, in which, there's another way to sticky objectives even if they're not actually boys. There you go. So I just looked at it. I'm like, those points look interesting, look kind of tasty. I think Tide is back on the menu. Now again, what do you value more? Do you want a 6-up invulnerable save all the time? Do you want a 6-up feel no pain all the time? Do you want a 5-up invulnerable save if there are 10 or more than you, the models in that unit? You want a 5-up, well, I guess, still would apply both ways, but 5-up if you have a certain character leading the unit. And quite frankly, sustained and possibly lethals, I think it does it for me over reroll wound rolls of 1. Because realistically, what am I poking to death with some of these? You know? Like you're not doing the best as far as what I would need to reroll wounds on. However, if I'm rerolling hits versus monsters and a detachment that lets me target monsters and vehicles and bring them down sustain style with bonus AP, maybe that's just me. So, don't get me wrong, I don't think the Big Hunt is the best one, but with the new points, it's worth considering given what we ran with the old points. So yeah, if you liked the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.